Your luggage travels farther than you do. It passes through dozens of hands, through tunnels, carts, and restricted zones. And somewhere along that path, someone already knows your suitcase is worth the effort. We're used to thinking of baggage theft as something out of a Hollywood scene, a quick thief, a chase, flashing cameras. But real thieves don't run, they walk. They wear uniforms, they smile at you while placing your belongings on the belt. This isn't just a story about lost suitcases. It's a story about trust, awareness, and how a system built for safety can turn against the very people it's meant to protect. Because in this game, the rules are simple. You trust, they take, and you don't even notice it happening. Today, we'll show you exactly how they do it, step by step. And we'll teach you how to make sure you never become part of this game again.
Hi there, this is Airport Aviation Guide, and I'm so glad you're watching this video. I travel a lot and always try to bring you the most up-to-date and useful information. In return, I ask you to fasten your seatbelts, subscribe, and give a like. And now, Quigley, let's take off.
The exchange. Picture this. You're standing at the baggage carousel. Hundreds of identical black suitcases glide past under the harsh airport lights. The noise, the announcements, the crowd, it's chaos. And somewhere in that chaos is your bag. You check your phone for a second, you glance away, and that's when it happens. Right beside you, another passenger, or at least someone who looks like one, is holding a suitcase that looks almost exactly like yours. Only his is empty. He waits for the moment you're distracted and swaps them. That's it. One smooth, silent move. Your suitcase, your clothes, your laptop, your camera, your souvenirs is gone. You're left standing there, wondering why your bag hasn't arrived. 15 minutes later, the carousel is almost empty. You spot a suitcase that looks just like yours. Same tag, same color. You grab it. But when you open it, it's empty. Just a shell. And the person who took your real bag, he's already miles away. How the exchange works. It's one of the oldest tricks in the book, and it still works perfectly today. Large airports, multiple flights arriving at once, hundreds of identical suitcases. Ideal hunting grounds. Usually, thieves work in pairs. One distracts, the other swaps. To a bystander, it looks completely normal. Just another traveler retrieving their luggage. Even on security footage, it's nearly impossible to spot. Police in Asia and Europe have uncovered organized groups who made small fortunes using this tactic. They operated so cleanly, so calmly, that victims didn't even realize they'd been robbed until they reached their hotel. By then, the thief and your bag were long gone. When the thief wears a uniform. But what's worse is when the thief doesn't stand by the carousel. He works behind it. He wears a uniform, he smiles at check-in, he's the one loading your luggage into the aircraft, and he knows exactly what's inside. These are inside jobs, thefts that happen between the plane and the terminal, far from cameras, far from witnesses. Here's how it works. A baggage handler spots a premium tag, priority, first class, maybe a luxury brand name on the suitcase. He doesn't break it open. He doesn't need to. He takes a small blade, makes a clean slit near the zipper, reaches in, and pulls out whatever fits in his pocket. Cash, jewelry, watches, small electronics. Then he slides the zipper back, leaving only a tiny tear. You pick up your bag later, see the damage, and think, probably just rough handling. But that little rip was a calculated move. In Florida, a group of airport employees pulled off this exact operation for years. They targeted business and first-class bags, stolen small amounts, but often, hundreds of cases, thousands of dollars in total. When they were finally caught, investigators admitted it had been happening in plain sight. The psychology of trust. It works because we trust the system. We hand over our bags and stop thinking about them. We believe they're safe, somewhere out there in the airport's hidden machinery. But between check-in and baggage claim, your suitcase passes through a chain of strangers. And if even one person in that chain decides to earn a little extra, you'll never know until it's too late. Airports are like miniature cities, with their own rules, their own codes, their own silence. And inside those walls, a ripped zipper is never just an accident. That's the first stage of the game, the surface level, the simple tricks that thrive in chaos and complacency. But deeper inside, the game becomes darker and far more organized. Those behind the door. The most dangerous thief isn't standing next to you. He's standing behind a locked door, the one marked staff only. He's part of the system. He has keys, clearance, and time. And that makes him invisible. The world you don't see. Your baggage's journey doesn't end when it disappears down the conveyor belt. It travels through tunnels, sorting belts, metal cages, storage rooms. It passes through more hands than you can imagine. Drivers, handlers, loaders, sorters. Each one a potential weak point. In that maze, a single decision, a single glance at the right tag is all it takes. One person marks a bag, another removes something inside, a third makes sure no one notices. A perfectly silent crime. Accidental damage. This is the classic inside job method. The thief doesn't rip the whole suitcase, just enough to reach in. A small hole near the zipper, made with a hidden blade. Then he pulls out valuables that can disappear in a pocket. Later, when you see the tear, you assume it's just rough landing. But it wasn't turbulence that did it. It was precision. Groups like this have operated in airports across the world. In one American case, the thieves worked night shifts and targeted luggage marked priority. They'd been stealing for years before anyone realized what was happening. Why no one stops them? Because on paper, everything looks perfect. Each step in the baggage process is logged automatically. There's a timestamp, a signature, a scan. But none of that proves who actually touched your bag. And the cameras? Most of them cover public areas, check-in counters, security lines, arrival halls. They don't show what happens in the dim back rooms and storage corridors where your luggage truly travels. When something goes missing, the airline files a report. They might even pay compensation. But no one goes digging too deep. It's cheaper and quieter to let it disappear into paperwork. One former airport worker once said, "We all knew who was doing it, but if you spoke up, you'd lose your job." Everyone just looked the other way. And that's the truth. Most of these thieves aren't masterminds. They're just ordinary people who realized nobody was watching. Marked bags. Some groups go further. They tag bags they want to target. A discreet sticker, a small scratch, even a dot of paint. It looks like a harmless service label. But for those in the know, it's a signal this one's worth checking. While you think your suitcase is safely on its way, it's already marked for theft. The invisible game. Sometimes the thieves are caught, but rarely. When you see a headline like "Airport staff arrested for luggage theft," it's usually just the smallest link in the chain. The higher-ups, the ones who organize and protect them, remain untouchable. Airports prefer silence over scandal. They pay, apologize, and move on. And the game continues. You never see it happen. You never hear it. But somewhere, in the maze behind that staff-only sign, someone is quietly opening your bag and closing it again. That's the second stage of the game, the part hidden behind walls and uniforms. And it leads us to the final act, where the thief doesn't just steal your belongings. He steals your peace of mind. How to protect yourself. Turn fear into control. By now, it might feel like luggage theft is inevitable, that once you hand over your bag, you lose all control. But that's not true. The difference between a victim and a prepared traveler is knowledge and a few simple tools. Rule 1. Seal, don't lock. Forget tiny padlocks. They're useless. What really works are tamper-evident seals. Disposable plastic or nylon ties that go through your zippers. They can't be removed without breaking, and if someone tries, you'll know immediately. Bright colors, numbered tags, even your initials written in marker. Anything that makes tampering obvious. Thieves want easy targets. A sealed bag tells them, not this one. Rule 2. Track your bag. A GPS tracker like an Apple AirTag, Tile, or Smart Tag turns your suitcase into something traceable. Slip it inside and you can see exactly where your luggage is. On the plane, in the terminal,